All right, everybody, welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah.
Today, we're going to be digging into the Financial Times
Yes.
to
Yeah.
really get a sense of where they think the global economy is headed.
Interesting.
This is one of those topics,
Oh,
that
absolutely.
affects,
It affects everybody, right?
yeah, it affects every single one of us.
Yeah. Yeah, no matter where you live.
And no matter what you do.
Right.
So, this is really kind of your chance to get a better grasp on it and
Absolutely.
be able to navigate these waters.
For sure.
Because, the FT's analysis, I've been looking it over, and it paints a picture that's,
Yeah.
it's got some bright spots,
Mm-hmm.
but it also has some challenges.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Well, the big takeaway, I think, from their report is
Yeah.
the global economy is expected to slow down this year,
Okay.
but they're not expecting a full-blown recession, which is,
That's good.
it's more optimistic than a lot of people were saying a few months ago.
Yeah. I'm definitely more optimistic than we were hearing in September,
A little bit more
October
hurry.
last year.
So what's behind this more, rosier outlook?
Well, a lot of it has to do with the fact that energy prices have come down.
Okay.
They're saying that crude oil prices have actually fallen
Yeah.
15% since that peak last summer.
Wow.
And so, that translates into something like $500
Wow.
per household,
That's huge.
savings per year in some places. So,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, think about it. Less pain at the pump,
Right.
less on your energy bill.
Absolutely.
So what does that mean? That means consumers have more money to spend, and that could really help to boost the economy.
So that extra cash that we're not spending at the pump,
Right.
we can spend on other things
Exactly.
and keep that economic engine humming.
Keep moving.
Keep it going. Yeah. And
Yeah.
the FT also points to, how resilient consumer spending has been,
Yes.
especially in the U.S. and in Europe. But do you think
It's a good sign.
it is a good sign, but do you think that this is sustainable?
Well, that's a really good question.
Especially with, that inflationary pressure that's still out there.
Right. And you have to remember a lot of that consumer spending,
Yeah.
that strength that we've seen is based on savings that people built up during the pandemic.
Okay.
So the real question is, how long can that last?
Yeah.
If inflation continues to be a problem,
Right.
even with the lower energy prices,
Oh.
people might start to feel a little less confident
Lose confidence.
and pull back on their spending.
Yeah, makes sense. So it's not all,
Right.
sunshine and roses. Then
Not quite.
what are some of the risks
Wow.
that the FT is highlighting?
The FT points to a couple of things, and persistent inflation is definitely one of them.
Yeah.
Even though energy prices have eased up, we're still seeing those price increases
Yeah.
in other areas, and that's because of things like supply chain problems,
Okay.
higher labor costs.
Yeah.
All of that contributes to keeping those prices elevated.
And then supply chain issues.
Oh, yeah.
Those are still
Huge problem.
causing a lot of headaches for businesses.
Absolutely. It makes it harder for them to get the products that they need
Yeah.
to meet demand. And when that happens, guess what? Prices go up even more.
Yeah. They mentioned the war in Ukraine as well.
Oh, of course.
And I'm assuming that's a big question mark in all this.
Yeah, it's a huge wild card.
Yeah.
I mean, the conflict is causing a lot of uncertainty
Of course.
on the geopolitical front, and it's also creating volatility in commodity markets.
Yeah.
And the FT makes it very clear that if this conflict were to escalate,
Right.
it could have a major impact on the global economy.
Wow.
We're talking about everything from energy prices to food supplies potentially being disrupted.
So it sounds like we've got a lot of different factors that could really,
Yeah.
push the economy
Push and pull.
in one direction or another.
Absolutely.
They also talk about the role of government policies
Right.
in shaping, the economic future. What are they saying about that?
Well, they emphasize that the decisions made by policymakers around the world are going to be absolutely crucial in determining what happens next. I mean, they've got a lot of tools
Yeah.
at their disposal, things like interest rate adjustments,
Yeah.
fiscal stimulus packages,
Right.
but they have to be very careful how they use those tools.
Yeah.
For example, if they raise interest rates too quickly
Mm-hmm.
to try to combat inflation,
Right.
they could actually end up triggering a recession.
Oh, wow.
So finding the right balance is really key.
So it's a complex picture,
Yeah.
but it sounds like there are some reasons to be cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment.
So just to kind of sum up what we've been talking about,
Okay.
the FT is predicting a global economic slowdown,
Yep.
but not necessarily a recession.
Right.
Declining energy prices,
Uh-huh.
continued consumer spending.
Those are the good signs.
Those are positives,
Okay.
yeah. But
Yeah.
But then you've got persistent inflation,
Yes.
supply chain issues,
Yeah, still a problem.
war in Ukraine.
Big wild card.
Yeah,
And the decisions that these policymakers are going to be making
right.
could have a big impact.
So it's a mixed bag,
It is.
but it gives us all a lot to think about.
Absolutely.
So knowing all of this,
Yeah,
what steps can individuals and businesses take
right.
to navigate
This is the question
this evolving economic landscape?
that everyone's asking.
Yeah, what can we do?
It's a tough one.
I mean, maybe things like diversifying your investments,
That's always a good idea.
maybe shoring up your savings
Yeah.
could be good starting points.
Yeah.
But I'd encourage you
Yeah.
to really go back and look at the FT's analysis
Definitely.
and see what specific recommendations they're making.
Because they have some good insights.
And really, it's about staying informed.
Absolutely.
That's the key to making good decisions,
Whether it's for yourself or your business.
whether it's personal or professional.
Knowledge is power
Exactly.
in this environment.
All right. Well, that wraps up another deep dive.
It does.
Until next time.
See you then.